This is the Roulette Master, and I am so excited today to share with you an unbelievable new roulette system called 3 Goals to Victory. And one of my subscribers, Sam, says this is the best system he has ever used and consistently wins at the casino. So that's really exciting. And today we're going to put his new system in a head-to-head matchup with 9 lines or 9 double streets. And I can't wait to share with you which one of these wins and which one makes the most money in 15 minutes. So let's place 9 double streets or line bets out there. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That's a $45 total bet. Let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. Okay, that's a 28 black. And that's a nice $15 win to start. And we're just going to rebet and spin. All right, here we go. That is a 34 red. And we lost that one, so we're going to double up the bet from 45 to 90. But we have a really good chance of hitting this next one because we do have super high coverage here. And that's an 11 black. Okay, that's a $30 win. You can see we're not in session profit, so we're going to keep the bet the same and spin again. So let's see what we get here. That is a 36 red, and we lost that one. So we're going to have to double up again, and that's okay. We're going to go from 90 to 180. But we have a really good chance of hitting, so I'm not too concerned. I think we'll get a win right here. That's a 25 red. Fantastic. That's a $60 win. You can see we're not in session profit, so we're going to stay right here. And we have a really good chance of winning back-to-back with this kind of coverage, and that's a 29 black. That's a $60 win. We're back up 30. Let's go back to where we started with 9 lines again. And hopefully we'll get some wins at base level here. That would be fantastic. So there's our $45 bet again. Let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. That's a 16 red. That's a $15 win. So we're up $45 now. Let's just rebet and spin. And here we go. Okay, that is a 28 black. Another nice win. So we're currently up $60 now. Let's get some consecutive wins here. I know we can do it with this kind of coverage. And here we go. That's a good one. 17 black. All right, so now we're getting up there. We're up $75 now. And let's spin again. And we're betting 9 of these to win 3 with each win. But we're going to get a lot of wins. And that's another one right there. We're currently up $90. You do need to keep track of your session profit with this, so try to keep hold of what the highest profit level you've been at is. And we just lost that one, so we're going to double up again. We're going to go from 45 to 90 and spin, and then we'll see if we can get back in session profit here. That's a 6 black. Okay, and that is a $30 loss, but we're not going to increase the bet when we have those partial losses. So we're just going to keep the bet the same and spin again. And that's a double zero. That's definitely a total loss, though. So we're going to go ahead and double up now. That was 2 pretty unfortunate spins there, but I bet we get some back-to-back wins here. We have really nice coverage. And that's a good one there, 23 red. Okay, $60. We're not in session profit, so we're going to leave the bet the same. And this is also a really good one for building comp credit because you can see the bets are pretty high, and we just lost again. So we're going to have to double up again. But again, I'm not too concerned. This is a $2,000 bankroll system. We have plenty of money in the tank. We just need to be patient here. And there's a good win with 9 red. Okay, and we're at minus 75. We'll just rebet and spin. And I think we'll get a win on the next couple. Let's find out. That's a 27 red. That's a nice win. You can see we're at 45. Let's get one more, and let's catapult our session profit into a new high. And here we go. That's a 31 black. But we had a partial loss, but we're not going to increase the bet when we have partial losses. We're just going to rebet and spin again. And that's a 6 black, and I think that's another partial loss. Ouch, that's a $120 loss there. So we're just going to rebet and spin. We're at minus 195, but we'll get it right back, and I think we'll get a couple wins in a row here. But we just lost another partial. That's 3 in a row. That's not normal, but it happens. We're going to stay here at 360. And again, we're going to be patient because we have the bankroll that allows us to do that, and that's an 18 red. Again, this is a $2,000 bankroll system. We're going to keep the bet the same because we're not in session profit, and spin again. And building up fantastic comp credit right now. But that's a 7 red, and that's a good win. So, all right, we're at minus 75. We'll just rebet and spin. And let's see if we can get back into session profit here. So let's see what we get. That's an 18 red. That's a good one. Okay, we're up 45. Not quite in session profit. We're going to need one more. And then I think we can establish new session profit. So that's a 10 black, and that should do it. Okay, now we're up $165. So we go back to base level, back to where we started at 45. So let's peel it back all the way to 45 and spin. Again, we're up $165 now. Now let's see if we can get some wins at base level and build up our profits. Okay, that's a 9 red. That's a nice win. Fantastic. We're up 180. We'll just rebet and spin. And you're probably noticing that without a good bankroll, that wouldn't have been possible. That's why the bankroll is so important when you're playing. And but never play with money that you can't afford to lose. We're up $195. But if you do have it, the more you have, the better chance you have of walking out a winner. And that is a 16 red. And let's see, that's a nice win of $15. We're up $210 now. And let's see how many wins we can get at base level here. Okay, that's a 34 red. That's a loss. So we're going to have to double up. You can see where we're at. We're at $165 profit right now. We're going to double up and get a couple wins here with a higher bet amount. And that's a 1 red. That's not good. We're going to have to double up again. But that's why the bankroll is so important. If you only had a couple $100, you'd already have lost it, and you wouldn't have a chance to come back. And that's a 9 red. That's a good win there. $60 win. We're up 135. Let's rebet and spin. See if we can get a good win here. Okay, that's a 3 red. That's another loss. We're going to have to double up again, which again, if you didn't have a large bankroll, you would not be able to do this. So that's why it's so important. And if that's too much for you, that's no problem. You just need to lower the starting bets to a level that you can handle. And you can even start with dollar units if you'd like. We're up 75. We're going to need one more of those to reset back to base level. And here we go. Ooh, we lost again, though. That's a 1 red. So, again, this is why the bankroll is so important, because we're going to have to double up to 720. And here we go. Let's see, that's a 30 red. Let's see what that does for us. And that's a nice win of $240. We need one more of those, and then we can reset. So let's get one more. I think we have a real good chance of hitting it. Ooh, but we had a partial loss, so we leave the bet the same. $240 partial loss. Now we're at minus 285. Now we're going to need probably 2 wins, but I think we deserve a couple after all this. That's an 8 black. There's one of them for 240. We need at least one more of those. And then it'd be really smart to reset if we get back in profit again. And we did. That's a 24 black. Okay, so now we're up 195 again. It's time to reset back to 9 double streets or 9 line bets. And then that's going to be a $45 total bet again. Again, we're up $195. Let's see if we can get some wins here and build up our profits from here. Okay, that's a 23 red. Okay, $15 win. We're up 210. Let's rebet and spin. And that's a 22 black. That's another win. And we're up 225. And let's rebet and spin again here. Okay, that's a 16 red. That's a $15 win. We're up 240. And if you're one of the people I met in Las Vegas, you probably saw me playing 8 of these double streets. And the reason why is because when you do play automated, it doesn't let you bet 9. But with the live dealer, it does. So let's see, that was a partial loss, so we keep the bet the same. So if you need to play on automated roulette, just go to 8 double streets or line bets, and that's a 5 red. And we're up 210. That was another partial loss. But if you have the ability to play with the live dealer, it's always, I like to play with more numbers and get more wins. That's a 36 red, and that's another loss. So it is time to double up, and they dropped us down to 165 profit temporarily, but let's get a win right here. Oh man, we just keep hitting that number 1. Man, that's unlucky, but let's go ahead now and we'll double up again. Now we're at 180 total bet, and we just need to get a few wins with this really nice high coverage. And there's one right there with a 23 red. We're up 135. We'll just rebet and spin. And let's get a win right here. That is a 5 red. That's not good. But it is a partial loss, so we do not increase the bet. We leave it at 180. We're only up $75 temporarily here, but let's get back up again in the next couple spins. That's a 21 red. Okay, and we're up 135. Let's rebet and spin. See if we can get back in session profit right here. And that's a 33 black. Well, we've been hitting a lot of those partial losses, but we'll just leave the bet the same at 180 and spin again. And again, if this is too much for you, just bet dollar units. If you bet 9 of them, that's only $9. And that's a $180 loss there. So we had a total loss, which means we're going to double up to 360. But I have a feeling we'll get a few wins right now. And that's an 18 red. That's a good one. Okay, we're up 15. We'll just rebet and spin. We're going to need 2 more wins to get back in session profit. I think we'll get them. And that's a good one there with the 7 red. We're going to need 1 more of those at 360 total bet. And boy, we've really built up the comp credit with this one with placing nice high bets. And that's the win that we needed with a 14 red. Now we're back up $255, and we're going to go back to base level. And we're going to put our 9 double streets or line bets out there. And then spin again. And let's see where we finish up with this one in the next few minutes. Here we go. That's an 8 black. That's a good win. Okay, we are currently up 270. Let's go ahead and rebet and spin again here. Okay, that's an 11 black. Okay, we're up 285. Let's just rebet and spin again here. Okay, that's a 20 black. Okay, another $15 win. We're up $300. Now we're getting those base level wins that we were hoping we'd get earlier. Now we're on a roll, 24 black. Okay, we're up 315. Let's rebet and spin. Here we go. Okay, that's a 21 red. Okay, we're up $330. Now we're just cruising right along, and here we go. That's a 30 red. Okay, $15 win. We're up $345. Let's rebet and spin right here. And that's a 7 red. That's a good one. Okay, we're up $360. And coming down the stretch here, it's almost time for that new system of the day. I hope you guys are excited about that one. I know I am, and that's a 16 red. Okay, we're up $375. Let's rebet and spin right here. Okay, that's a 12 red. That's a good win. And let's get one more and get ourselves over $400 in profit. That would be fantastic. And that is a 10. We did it. So after 15 minutes, we made $405 profit with 9 double streets or 9 line bets playing roulette. And now it is time for the new roulette system of the day. I can't wait to see how amazing this one is. So let's just place the bets and get started and see where it takes us and see if it can make more than $405 in this next 15 minutes. Here we go. All right, the time is finally here for the incredible new 3 goals to victory roulette system. I can't wait to share with you how you can start making money with this in the casino. Let's place those bets, and it's going to look like we have 3 field goals out here. And you're not going to have to move these bets, but we're going to adjust them in a really simple way. And I'll share with you how it works and how this is a fantastic roulette system. So there's one of them. Let's build one more over here because this is 3 goals to victory. And here we go. All right, that's a $30 total bet. Let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. All right, we're off and running, and that is a 23 red. Okay, we lost the very first one. Every time we lose with this system, we're going to place a $10 bet on each of those double streets. So let's go ahead and spin again here. And now this is a $60 total bet. That's a 31 black. All right, that's a $42 win. We're in session profit. So we're going to go ahead and go back to where we started at 30 and then spin again. And we're going to keep track of our profit levels as we go through this one and use good money management skills. And that is a $12 win. We'll take it. We're up $24 and we're just going to rebet and spin. All right, here we go. Let's see what we get here. And that's a 16 red. Hey, that's a nice $12 win. We're up $36 already. And here we go again. Let's keep getting some wins. And then once we have losses, I'll share with you how to deal with those. But that's a double zero. That's not what we want. So every time we lose, we're going to add $10 to one of those double streets. So let's go ahead and do that. And then spin again here, and we'll see where we're at. Okay, that's a 22 black. Okay, we lost that one, so we're going to add $10 more to these. And there we go. Let's go ahead and spin. Now we're at a $90 total bet. All right, that's a 35 black. Okay, that's a nice $108 win. We're up $54. Let's go ahead and go back to where we started. And I need to put one more of those dollars back up there. And let's go ahead and spin back at our base level of $30. And there's some that are going to pay more than others, and that was one of them. That's a 17 black. That's a nice $48 win. We're up $102 now. That is awesome. And here we go again. Hey, man, I'm really enjoying this one so far. That's a 30 red. That's a loss, so let's add $10 to each of those double streets. And spin. Now we're at a $60 total bet. Okay, that's a 1 red. Okay, we'll take a $42 win there for sure. We're up $114. And let's go ahead and go back to where we started at 30 and spin again. All right. I'm really liking this one so far. There's lots of possibilities of winning lots of money with this. And that's another $30 win. We're up $144. That is fantastic. And there's some that pay more than that as well, as you saw previously. Let's go ahead and spin. Just depends on how many bets are on each number. And that's a 12 red there. Okay, we lost, so we're going to add $10 to each of those double streets. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and spin. And obviously the ones that are right in the center there that have everything covered are going to pay the most. That's a 28 black. We lost again. Let's add $10 to each one of those double streets again. Okay, now we're at a $90 total bet, and let's spin. Okay, that's an 8 black. We lost again, so we're going to go ahead and add $10 to each of those again. Okay, now we're at a 120 total bet, and for the first time we're down, but that's okay. We're going to recover. Let's see what we get on this one. That's a 29 black. We lost again, so we're going to go up $10 on those again. And then we're going to go ahead and spin and see what we get here. Okay, that's a 3 red. That should be good. That's a $150 win. We're at -6. And when you get a win, what you're going to do is you're going to peel one of those $10 bets off of each on the double streets. So let's go ahead and spin again here. This is a 120 total bet. And that's a 15 black. That's a loss. So we're going to add those $10 bets back on there. Now that we're at a 150 total bet, we're at -126. But I have a feeling we're going to get right back on top. Let's do it. That's a 25 red. We just keep losing, but that's okay. We got plenty of time and plenty of bankroll. Let's add $10 to each of those again. Now we're at a 180 total bet. And I think it's time to get some wins. Here we go. Oh, man, that is very unlucky. We've had so many losses with half the board covered. So let's go ahead and add 10 to each again. And we're going to have to, I accidentally took one off. There we go. So these are all going up to 61 each. And we're going to be, we have $1,500 left in the bankroll. I think we can come back, but this is just, we've had a lot of bad spins, and that's a 20 black there. Okay, that's a nice $228 win. So that's more what we need. Let's take $10 off each of those. So we'll subtract 10 off of each, and now we're at a 180 total bet. Let's get a win right here. Come on. That's an 11 black. And we lost again. We got to add those 10s back on, but we're going to be patient. We're going to use our $2,000 bankroll to our advantage, and I think we're going to get back up by the end of this. We're only almost 6 minutes in, so let's get some good wins. That's a 36 red. That's a nice $210 win. Let's go ahead and peel off those 10s. We need to peel off 2 more, 1 and another one right here. Now we're at 180 total bet. Let's go ahead and spin. Okay, that's a 13 black. That's another loss. We got to add those back in. That was real close to being a good one, but we just missed it. And let's go ahead and spin again here at 210 total bet. And let's get it going here. Good thing it didn't hit the 00. That would have been pretty unlucky, but we still lost. So, all right. So we got to add in 10 again, and we still have plenty of bankroll. We still have $1,500 left in the bankroll. Let's get some wins. Here we go. That's a 12 red. We just keep losing, guys. Let's add 10 more in. And I kind of like this system, but we're just getting smoked with the numbers. But I think we can come back. Let's do it. Come on. That's an 8 black. Oh, my goodness. We just keep losing every spin. And we're going to have to add 10 more into each. Okay, we've lost half our bankroll. Let's make our comeback right now. And you have to always believe that you can do it, especially if you believe in the system that you're using. And, okay, that's a $300 win. It's about time, right, guys? Let's peel one of those off of each. Okay, we're going to go back to 81 on those double streets, and now we're at 270 total bet. All right, I think we deserve some wins here. That's a 33 black. All right, that's a 270 win. Now we're at minus 528. Let's peel off those bets. And I do like this system. I just think we've got horrible luck so far, and I think we can turn this thing around. And, oh my goodness, just as I say that, we hit another 00, and we're going to have to add 10 back into each. So let's do that. And we are at minus 768 out of a $2,000 bankroll. All we need is some wins back to back, or at least a few, and to get us going here. But we just keep losing. So we're going to go up another unit. This is why, though, the reason we still have our bankroll is because we have half of it right now, is because we're not doubling the bets. So keep that in mind as well. And that's a 32 red there. Okay, that's a nice $318 win. Let's go ahead and peel one off of each of those double streets. And then spin at 270 total bet. I'm feeling like 3 wins in a row here. What do you guys think? That's a 13 black. Oh my goodness. I'm not having very good luck so far, but we're still in this thing. We're going to go up another unit again. We have half our bankroll left. This is a $300 total bet. And let's get some wins. That's a 32 red. Okay, that's a good win. $318 win. We'll take that. Let's go ahead and remove one of each. And, you know, none of this would be possible without a good-sized bankroll. So remember, it's so important. And that is a 3 red. That should be a good one. All right, $270 win. We're at minus 402. Let's go ahead and remove one of those $10 bets off of each. Now we're at 240 total bet. And let's make this comeback complete. All right, that's a 3 red. Fantastic. $240 win. Let's remove a 10 from each of those double streets. And now we're at 210 total bet. Here we go. All right, let's do this. Hit the 2. Oh, the 9. Oh, man. We lost again. So let's go ahead and go up again. But at least we got some wins. So let's add that back on after that loss. we're doing much better. Now we just need to get back on a little bit of a winning streak here and get some good wins. Oh my goodness, another double zero. Really? That's like 4 of those, isn't it? Oh my goodness. So it happens sometimes, guys. So we just have to increase by another $10 unit again on those double streets, and let's get some wins. That's a 30 red there. Boy, we're not having very good luck so far, but I'm still hopeful. Let's add 10 to each again. We still have over half our bankroll, so we can get this going again. Here we go. It almost hit the 36, but we lost again. Ouch. Okay, so let's add 10 to each of these again. The concept I really like. The amount of times that we've won with half the numbers I do not like. But that happens sometimes, and that's why you need bankroll. And that's a 2. That's a good one, guys. That's a $348 win. We're going to peel $10 off of each. And let's go ahead and spin. And let's get a good win right here. Let's see if we can call this one. Oh, nope, it went too fast. That's a 31 black. And that's a nice $282 win. That's not one of the best ones, but it's a nice win. Let's peel $10 off of each. Okay, now we're at 270 total bet. Let's get another win here. Any win is good right now. Oh my God, is that 5 double zeros or 5 zeros and double zeros? That is crazy. Okay, let's go up another unit. But it happens sometimes. I know that this guy Michael that plays next to me, he bets only on the zeros, and boy, he has a party when 5 zeros hit. That's a 24 black. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Okay. If we can get out of this with a win, it's gonna be one hell of a comeback. And we have about 3 or 4 minutes to do it. Let's get her done. But we just keep losing, guys. So let's go up another unit. And we have about 600 bucks left. We got to get a win here. And remember, when you're testing systems, to make sure that you're always, and we lost again. Are you kidding me? Oh man, we don't even have enough to place our next bet. So let's go ahead and finish this, and we'll extend our bankroll to, let's say, just to see what happens. Let's extend our bankroll to $2,500, just to see what would happen. And because I really like this system, but I think that we just have had horrible luck so far. And that's a 27 red, and we lost again. So I think we'd have to extend our bankroll to 3,000 to keep going. We'll give it a shot. Let's see here, just for testing purposes. But remember, we did lose the $2,000 bankroll, and then we lost again. But one thing you need to realize is we have half the numbers covered, and we're losing pretty much every spin. So I think this could be a good system. But anytime you're betting on half the numbers and you lose almost every spin, and we lost again, you're not going to win. So you can see that there, and then we lost 3,000. Let's continue on just to see how much we would lose if we kept going here, and let's see what happens. But it happens sometimes. And then we finally got a win with a 20 black there, and we won 498, and then we'll take 10 off of each. Let's just see where this ends up. But when you're practicing, make sure you do stick to a bankroll. We're just doing this for testing purposes here, but stick to a bankroll so that anyone can just keep playing and doubling. But let's see how much of a bankroll this one would actually take. We're going to reduce it again, and then spin at 420 total bet, and that's a 25 red. That is another loss. So then you'd increase by another unit. Okay, now we're at 450 total bet. And basically, if this happens where you lose pretty much every spin, the way you get out of it is to have a streak going the other way. And we won that one, so we'll reduce each one of these bets by 10. Now we're at 420 total bet. And eventually you should get a streak of 4 or 5 wins in a row. But that's an 8 black there. And we lost again, so then you'd increase again. And let's go ahead and spin. But I like the philosophy of this. If you were getting at least half the numbers, I think you would win a lot of money, because, and that's a nice 450 win there. Let's reduce it after that win. Because usually systems like this that go one up, one down, if you have the same number of wins and losses, you usually end up way ahead. That's a 23 red. Then that's another loss, so you'd have to add the 10 back in again. And then spin it, 450 total bet here. Okay, that's a 12 red. And I'll have to go back and look and see how many times we actually lost first one. But it feels like we've lost about 80% of the spins with half the numbers covered. So that's not usually very good. And there's a win finally there with 32 red. And let's go ahead and reduce those by 10. And let's go ahead and spin it for 50 total bet. And here we go. That's another win, 35 black. Okay, 468 win. So we reduce them by 1. And the reason we're testing this further with a little more bankroll is just to see if it will come back and what kind of bankroll it would take if things go really haywire. That's a 15 black. We lost that, so then we'd have to add our unit back in. That brings us back up to 450 total bet. That's an 18 red. That's a 450 win. Okay, so we'll reduce the bets by 10. Okay, now we're at 420 total bet. I thought I was going to hit that 0 again, but it's still a loss with a 28, so we would have to increase by 10 again. And let's see how much we're either down or up if we play this a little longer here. It just kind of intrigues me, especially since we've just had such poor luck. And that's a 432 win there. We're at minus 1944. Let's reduce. Okay, and we're at 420 total bet now. That's a 10 black. And we lost, so we would go up by another unit. Okay, and now we're at minus 2364. And here we go. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Okay, so let's increase by another unit. I don't want to give up on this one, do I? Let's go ahead and spin and see what we get here. That's a 33. That should be a win. Okay, 480 win. Let's go ahead and reduce them by 1. Then we'll go ahead and spin here. That's a 16 red. That's a 432 win. Okay, we'll reduce them. There we go. Now we're at 420 total bet after we reduced. Okay, that's a 4 black. That should be good. 412 win. We're at minus 1490. Let's reduce. And spin it. 380 total bet. That's a 12, and that should be a loss, so we'll increase by a unit again. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, make sure those are all at 131. They are. Okay, now we're at 420 total bet. That's a 22 black there. Another loss. Let's see where that puts us. Minus 2290. We'll increase. And again, we already lost the $2,000 bankroll, but I kind of like this one, so I just want to see where this goes. But it sure doesn't look good right now. Let's increase by another unit. Maybe by the end of this, I won't like this one anymore. And I won't want to ever play it again. But I do think that it has some merit to it. But sometimes you just get really unlucky, and we're going to peel those $10 bets off. Again, you take one off each time that you win. And let's spin again here and see what we get. That's an 11 black. That's another loss. We'll increase by another unit. So let's talk a little bit about, the difference between doubling up your bets and going up units, because, and there's a win there on 36 red, 490 win. So the benefit to doubling up, and we'll reduce these by 10 each. The benefit to doubling up is that that you recover immediately. And the benefit to doing what we're doing here, which is going up and down 1 unit, is, and that's a nice 432 win there, or minus 1760, and we'll reduce those. The benefit is you shouldn't lose your bankroll as easily going up and down a unit versus doubling up. But again, the benefit to doubling up is that you instantly recover, and you don't have to go through this long process of recovery. You either lose your bankroll, and I'm sorry, we need to add a bet. We lost that. We need to add a bet in, not take one off. And let's go ahead and spin. But there's advantages to both, and that's a win on 1 red there. 432. We're at minus 1748. We'll reduce. And so you have to kind of know, what the advantages and disadvantages of each system are. But that's a 29 black there. And we lost again. So we're testing this out just to see, if it will come back. We're at minus 2168 right now. And so far it has not. So this is definitely one you can test. And there's a good win there. And maybe when you test it, you'll win. I could definitely see someone winning money with this system, though. And all you'd have to do is probably win. And we'll reduce this after that win. All you really have to do is win half of the spins, going 1 up, 1 down, and you would be way ahead. But we haven't done anything close to that. And that's a 22 black, and that's another loss. So we're going to go ahead and increase by a unit again. And then let's go ahead and spin. Here we go. Okay, that's a 33 black. That should be a win. Okay, 450 win. We're at minus 1706. We'll reduce. I just don't want to give up on this one, do I? Let's go ahead and spin. That's 86. That should be a win. Okay, and we're at minus 1286. Let's reduce. Okay, now we're at 390 total bet. See how many we can win in a row. And that's a 14 red. And we lost, so let's increase again. Okay, now we're at minus 1676. Let's get some wins. Okay, that's a 21 red there. That's a 420 win. We'll take that. We're at minus 1256. Let's reduce. And here we go. We take $10 off each one when you win. Add 10 when you lose. And that's a good win, 17 black. Okay, 408 win. We're at minus 848. Okay, so it's getting a little bit better. Let's reduce. Okay, 111 on each. Let me take this one down. Okay, so we reduced all those by 10, and let's spin. Okay, that's a good win. 6 black. 370 win. Okay, now it's getting better. Let's reduce. Now we're down to just 100. Oh, let me make sure that's right. We need to add one back in here. Now let's go ahead and spin after we reduced. And that's an 11 black. That's a loss, so we'll go ahead and increase by a unit. And spin it, 360 total bet, but we're starting to come back now. That's an 18 red. That should be a win, I think. Okay, that's a 360 win. We're at minus 448. Let's reduce. Okay, now we're at 330 total bet. And we hit a 00, of course, which I think is the 6th time this session. But let's go ahead and add a unit to each. And if you wanted to recover a little faster, another thing you could do would be to not reduce. But definitely more risk involved there. But that's a 1 red. 342 win. Let's go ahead and reduce. what I mean by that is you would just skip the reducing when you win. You would just keep the bet the same until you were in session profit, and we would probably recover a lot faster. However, it would be a little bit more risk, and that's a 10 black. So let me show you that way the rest of the way out so you know what I'm talking about. Let's increase again. Okay, and the rest of the way out we'll just increase when we lose, but we won't decrease when we win. Okay, so we lost, so we'll just increase. Now we're at 121 each on each of those, so let's see if we get a win here, and we'll see how that works, if that works better. And that's an 8 black, that's a loss. So we'll add another unit in. Okay, and we're at 131 on each of those now, 420 total. That's a 7 red, and that is another loss. Well, that's a bunch of losses in a row. So let's increase again. And spin at 450 total bet. That's a 27 red, and we just keep losing. And you can see now we're back to minus 2386. So, you know, I'm glad we tested this for a while. It looked good, but we haven't done very well with it. So you guys let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And then we hit more zeros. That's at least 7 zeros or double zeros since we started. So you have to kind of take that into consideration as well. But we started to have a comeback, but it just didn't materialize. And there's a win there on 2 black. It's a 528 win. So now what I'm talking about is now we're not going to reduce. So you would recover faster if you don't reduce. And that's a 30 red there. And we lost again. So basically what I'm talking about is we would just increase to recover faster. There's a little more risk, but to stop reducing 10 each time we win, if you do get on a win streak, you will recover faster with that. And that's a win there on a 4 black. 522 total win. So again, we won't reduce. We'll just leave it the same. And here we go. That's a 29 black. That's another loss. So you just increase again. So those of you that like to double or triple the bet, I will say that it is nice that that when you do that, it recovers immediately, and you don't have to go through this entire process of coming back. But you can lose your bankroll quicker doing that. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think is the best. Do you like going up and down in a unit more, or do you like doubling or tripling the bet and getting your money back instantly? And that's a 618 win there. We'll just rebet and spin, and then if we get 4 or 5 wins in a row, we'd be back in good shape again. And that's a good one there with a 2 black, and we're at minus 2200. Oh, we got to get those bets back out there again. So let's just go ahead and end it right there. Actually, I don't think we're going to actually come back all the way. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think. We ended up losing $2,200 with this one, but we were down. We went a little bit over our bankroll just to test this a little bit more. Let me know what you think when you test it out. And thank you for sending this in, though. And thank you to everybody that's been sending the systems in. You guys are fantastic. And I just really love this search for the best roulette system each and every day. I hope you guys are enjoying it, too. And if you are, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep growing this community of people that really love roulette. And this is the Roulette Master. And have a great day, everybody.